My dear friends, today I'll be discussing about pathophysiology of dilated cardiomyopathy. Now, what is dilated cardiomyopathy? From the word itself, dilated means the chamber of the heart become enlarged or it becomes dilated. And what is cardiomyopathy? Cardio means heart or cardiac tissue or heart tissue. Myo means muscle and pathy means pathology. So in dilated cardiomyopathy, the chamber of the heart undergoes dilated and the disease mainly affects the heart muscle, which leads to the weakening of the heart, enlargement of the heart and dilatation of the heart. And because of this, there is the inability of the heart muscle or gradual decrease in the capacity of the heart to pump out the blood, so that it cannot make out the blood supply of the whole body, and gradually it leads to heart failure. So what I mean to say is that the dilated cardiomyopathy is a type of cardiomyopathy where the heart chamber, especially left ventricular wall, become enlarged, dilated and very thin, and gradually over time it become very weak, and which finally leads to heart failure. Now we will discuss today how the dilated cardiomyopathy is caused. Actually, various risk factors like toxic metabolites, alcohol, then viral infection like Coxsackie B virus, enterovirus, or various metabolic disorder like diabetes, hypertension, then genetic cause or defect in the heart muscle, myosin heavy chain protein defect, or titin protein defect, or lemmin protein defect, beside sarcoidosis, then various anti-cancer drugs like doxorubicin, daunorubicin can directly affect the heart muscle and gradually makes the wall of the heart very weak. And that's why over time the heart muscle cannot pump out the sufficient amount of blood, and that's why amount of blood coming out from the heart is very less, so cardiac output falls. And because of this, the end diastolic volume gradually increases. That is, amount of blood that remains after the diastole increases, and after systole also there is more accumulation of blood in the heart, and that's why there is more accumulation of the blood in the heart. That's why the heart gradually over time become enlarges or chamber undergo dilatation. The heart must also become very weak and thin, and ultimately the ejection fraction falls, and gradually over time it leads to heart failure if it is not intervened in right moment. Besides, as the chamber of the ventricles undergo dilatation because of excessive accumulation of blood in the chambers, as well as weakening of the heart muscle because of direct effect of the various toxic, viral infection or metabolic or various other risk factors, there is mismatch of the valvular size and shape. So there is the valvular wall cannot coincide over each other, so it may leads to valvular mismatch, leading to defect in the closure of the valves, and that's why it increases the risk of various valves, especially atrioventricular valves, that is mitral and tricuspid valves are affected mostly. And because of this, or because of the chamber dilatation, the valvular aperture closure become defective, leading to a situation or medical condition called regurgitation. So there is an increased risk of mitral regurgitation or tricuspid regurgitation, and mitral regurgitation, tricuspid regurgitation may leads to left atrial or right atrial enlargement over time, and again the atrial muscle may become very much weak, leading to atrial fibrillation or arrhythmia. So it increases the risk of arrhythmia with time. Beside, as the ejection fraction goes down with time, it increases the risk of heart failure. And heart failure, because of heart failure, there is sluggishness of the blood flow throughout the body, because the heart cannot pump out the blood effectively, so blood coming out from the heart has low velocity. That's why the flow of the systemic circulation is also very less, and which leads to sluggishness of the blood flow, and because of the sluggishness there is increased risk of clotting in various systemic circulation. In pulmonary circulation, it leads to pulmonary embolism or pulmonary thrombosis. In case of cerebrovascular region, it leads to stroke. In peripheral artery, it leads to peripheral vascular disease. Thus, it increases the risk of thrombosis in various systemic arteries, leading to various diseases. So, these are the various mechanisms or by which these are the various mechanisms or causes by which the heart failure is, or risk of heart failure is exaggerated due to exposure to various toxin and directly damage to the heart, leading to a condition known as dilated cardiomyopathy. So dilated cardiomyopathy may leads to heart failure, and as the disease progresses, the symptoms of heart failure also progresses, and proper treatment, medical therapy, therapeutic management, and as well as lifestyle modification plays an important role in prevention of the heart failure. Beside the mitral regurgitation and tricuspid regurgitation, or the heart valvular disease, or a valvular heart disease that results because of the gradual dilatation of the chamber volume of the left ventricle and right ventricle. These chamber volume dilatation gradually increase the risk of mitral regurgitation, tricuspid regurgitation, which increases the risk of right atrial and left atrial fibrillation, or left atrial or right atrial fibrillation, and because of that it increase the risk of atrial fibrillation, and this atrial fibrillation also increase the risk of various embolism that is present in the heart. And because of this embolism, the chance of pulmonary embolism or systemic embolism, or it may lead to risk of stroke or cerebrovascular accident also. So various anti-clotting or anticoagulants are also advised as a part of medical treatment if there is arrhythmia in case of dilated cardiomyopathy. So what I mean to say is that dilated cardiomyopathy may leads to heart failure, it may leads to ventricular arrhythmia, it may leads to valvular heart disease like mitral regurgitation, tricuspid regurgitation, and it may also leads to increased thrombotic events or increased risk of blood clotting in various circulation of the body. So these are the various mechanism or complication of dilated cardiomyopathy and the pathophysiology behind this. Thank you very much.